Can you tell me the names of the four schools of thought of Islam?
You have Hanafi.
Without Googling, please. Can you move your hand from the keyboard, please?
I'm literally going off memory.
Yeah, tell me what are the names. No, look at me and tell me, please, because you study the jurisprudence. Please don't do this because I respect people who are honest. You can say I do not know.
What I'm looking at right now is
already Googled.
I can't.
Okay, can you look at me, please?
Can I send you the link?
Can you look at me? No. Okay. Can you tell me what is the names of the jurisprudence? Oh, no, again, you're looking at the screen. Please, I can see you. Okay. Tell me.
That I can off the top of my head are Shafi'i and Hanafi.
As you saw, Muslim Lantern is already questioning GodLogic's sources and knowledge, and GodLogic continues making his claims, relying on shotgun tactics, trying to manipulate answers, and even using an unreliable website to support his points. But Muslim Lantern won't let him get away with it. He exposes the flaws in GodLogic's arguments and reveals just how insincere his claims really are. Watch closely and enjoy this intense confrontation.
Okay, so since I'm limited to 2 questions, I guess I got to formulate this with, so hopefully we can get to the meat of the matter. So in regards to child marriage, let me just ask you this. Here's the first question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe at any point that there's a point where child relations is immoral?
Elaborate what you mean by child relations. What do you mean by that? First, to understand your question, define a child. Second thing, define what do you mean by child relations.
Let's say one who has not reached puberty yet. Let's go with that. So that's like kind of the general.
Okay, so the definition that was known throughout humanity, basically, that a child is someone who's under the age of puberty. That's the definition until they started inventing a new one recently. In every dictionary, it was a child is someone who's under the age of puberty, and an adult someone who reaches the age of puberty. This is how it was. Okay, so I don't have a problem with that definition because I believe that is the human definition. Open any dictionary, any English dictionary in the past, they will have that definition. Okay?
Yeah.
And?
So yeah,
the relations that you're talking about, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, having, I don't want to get your thing flagged, but for grown men to have relations with
okay.
Sexual.
So you're, from a perverted point of view, you're asking a question, right?
Well, that is a perverted.
Okay. Now, okay. So this is your question, and the answer to that question is, we have a criteria, very simple criteria, is that no one can have intercourse or relation with anyone at any age if certain things are not there, whether they are a child, they are an adult, they're whatever it is. If there is any harm physically on that individual or psychologically on that individual in the future or in the present, then that type of intercourse is not permissible. So that person can be the age of 90, 95, and then if you have intercourse with that woman, it will harm her physically, that's not permissible. Does not matter whether it's a child or that person is the age of 90. If that person is too young to the extent in which you having intercourse with them will cause them trauma or cause them psychological issues, this and that, then that is completely impermissible in Islam, and that is based on the Prophet's statement, La dara wa la darar. You're not allowed to cause harm to anyone or yourself. That is a principle. That is one of the main principles that are used in Islam to determine rulings.
So just to be so my question to you, the first, because I remember you gave me 2, so I just wanted to make sure I was specific. I don't want to go over and stuff like that. My question was, do you believe that sexual relations with a child, and we understand what a child is now, at any point is immoral?
I answered you by giving you the general law of how we understand things.
A general law of how you understand things does not answer my question.
Meaning what determines, no, it does answer your question. So I said to you the age is irrelevant. I said to you what determines it to be moral or immoral, because your question is a moral question. I said to you what determines something to be moral or immoral is there physical or psychological harm on that individual or no? Now, if you anyways, relationships is only in marriage anyway. From an Islamic perspective, you don't have sexual relations outside of marriage anyway. So it also has to be under all of the rules that to do with marriage now. So these two, and also the idea of marriage, because marriage is a necessity for you to have intercourse or have a sexual relation with someone from an Islamic perspective. So I did answer you because I said it's not about age. You asked about the morality. I said what determines it to be moral or immoral, it is these 2 principles. So whenever they are there, it is both of them or one of them. Whenever they are there at any age, becomes immoral, and whenever they're not there, then that is permissible under the marriage, as I said, under all of the pretext of the marriages and the marriage happening in an Islamic way.
All right, so I just want to make sure I understand you. There's a few things I disagree with about like marriage being required for sexual intercourse, and like with sex slaves, I don't think that that's there, but that's something else. When it comes to children, you're saying that as long as it doesn't hurt the child, then it is okay. Child sex relations is okay as long as it doesn't hurt the child. Is that correct?
I didn't use that terminology. I use my terminology. You can take it or leave it. I don't care. You want me to give you a specific answer with certain words you're looking for? I'm not going to give you what you're looking for. I'll give you a general principle that applies to all cases and scenarios. And this shows you're not looking for the answer. You're trying to look for a specific terminology that you want me to specifically give you. And I already give you an answer. You like it, you can take it, you leave it, is up to you. When you mention sex slave and you try to do again what I said, the shotgun tactic by throwing a low blow, by trying to mention something as if you've not mentioned it, and I'm going to let it go this time, but next time I will consider it a question. Because you are mentioning something and that you're trying to imply. Because in Islam, there's no such thing as a sex slave. And from what I recall, the Bible says you can beat your slave to death, and if he dies a day later, there's no problem because he's your property. So I can do that. I can do these low blows and throw verses here and there. I don't do that. So we stick on the question and the specific things. You asked a question about when it is moral, when it is not moral, sexual relations, and then I answered you. Whether they are a child or not a child, if these two things are present, then it is not permissible. If they're not present, then it is impermissible. Simple, done.
Which is why the general thing that you're giving me is not a direct answer to my question to you,
no Muhammad. I don't need to answer you the way you like. This is my answer.
This is just okay. I just want to get this out if I can. Is that when I asked you a very straightforward question, it's either yes or no, like type of thing, right? You gave me the general understanding of this, which is cool. It's fine. I actually agree with you. According to the law, according to the jurisprudence, you are allowed, as long as it doesn't hurt the girl, as long as she's able for it and it doesn't hurt her, you are allowed to,
hurt her from which way? Physically or psychologically?
Physically.
Oh, so not psychologically.
It doesn't mention that in the Sharia.
No, I already, and it does mention it because I told you what mentions it. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ.
Well, from what I saw from the jurisprudence, and I could show you.
I've studied jurisprudence more than you, so I know it does say. So I am correcting you. I am correcting you there. That's not the case.
Well, it
is taken. Look, they say things which are obvious are not to be mentioned. So scholars do not need to mention every specific detail of everything. So there's a general rule. It's one of the main principles I've already mentioned you in Islam. One of 5 major principles in jurisprudence is the idea of harm. Anything that causes harm to the person or another person, another individual, is by necessity not permissible. Cannot be causing harm to other people. And I'll give you the hadith of the Prophet. It's irrelevant what they say in their books. I already gave you what the Prophet himself, literally, right, where the religion comes from, said. So what you can say, they said this, they didn't say that. So if anyone can establish that there is a psychological harm that will take place, then that becomes impermissible. Now, again, I think I did deal with that question. I don't like to go in circles for hundreds of years answering the same thing. If you want to move to the next point, we can answer it. Otherwise, like it seems like you want to stick on one point, trying to do a specific thing.
No.
I don't waste my time to do that.
Like I said, flowing conversation. If I can just make one last thing on that, just responding to you, and I'll be done. Sure, if that's okay.
No, because you're asking a question. How would you respond if you're asking a question?
Well, no, because I'm not asking a question per se. I'm responding to what you said before I ask my second question.
So you already have a point of view that you want to demonstrate, but you're asking me the question to pretend that you're looking for an answer, but in reality, you just want to say what you have in your mind.
So this is what it is with Muhammad.
Or is it that you're looking for an answer? Which one is it?
Let me tell you. Okay.
Oh, tell me.
So I've studied the subject, right? I've looked at the jurisprudence. I looked at the tafsirs. I looked at the scholars. I looked at the stuff.
Okay.
And so I have, what I believe in my conclusion based off the information that I have, on the conclusion that I have, right? And I'm willing to have that discussion with you. And if I can, if you can show me something where I'm missing a thing, I'm willing to take that. I'm not opposed to new information that you present, but I'm just hoping that we can actually talk about it. But it sounds it's like you're kind of shying away from the full conversation. You don't want to talk about it.
Gaslighting doesn't work, by the way, and I will highlight if you try to gaslight.
Well, so then
you're speaking on my behalf. It's gaslighting. Trying to say I'm shying away from the conversation. So that doesn't work. With all due respect.
But you did that to me, saying I'm shotgunning, I'm throwing low blows.
That's not true.
You're you're saying that you're gaslighting. You can say those things about me, but
Okay,
if
if you're no. Okay, look, you are now, with all respect, lying respectfully, because I said in the beginning, I'm not accusing you of doing that, but Christians do this shotgun tactics. I was very clear saying that. If you want me to rewind the video now live, I can do it, right? So don't accuse me of something I didn't say. I'm not accusing you of doing it. I'm saying that this is how it should be. I actually was very explicit saying I'm not accusing you of that. So please do not misrepresent my position, right? Look, I'm very careful. Look, I'm very careful about what I say, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing, I was also very careful that you're allowed to ask 2 questions. And then I answered your question, and then you asked the question again, I repeated the answer again. Then you asked the question again, I repeated the answer again. And that's why I said, we're not going to keep going in a circle of me repeating the same question hundreds of times, right? It's wasting my time and the viewer's time. If you got a question...
asking the same question. I just wanted to respond to what you just said so we can move on if I can.
No, this is a person asking the other person's questions here. It's not, I'm not here to debate. I'm here to answer questions. You asked a question, I answered you. Now I'll let you say the point. Look, I'll let you say the point because you seem like you want to get something out. So get it out now. So we can move on. Go ahead.
I appreciate you. So
no problem. Yes.
In response to what you were saying, you said that you knew the jurisprudence on this. So do I. And according to the jurisprudence,
so you know the jurisprudence
on this particular subject.
On this issue. Okay, so what did Imam Shafi'i say in his book about this?
Wait, hold on. So I can pull up the Encyclopedia of Jurisprudence where they give...
No, there's no such thing as an Encyclopedia of Jurisprudence that Muslims take to be reliable.
Can I share my screen then and show you?
No, I cannot allow you to share. I don't know what you're going to show on your screen. I don't know you, with all due respect. I have to make you share the screen, you know?
How about I send you the link and you show it?
What link are you going to send?
I'll send it to you.
And before you send it, what is it that you want to show?
Okay, it gives the ruling from the 4 schools of jurisprudence on marrying.
Which website? Which website?
Let me give it to you. It's from Dora.net.
What is it?
Dora.net. .net.
Okay, I have never heard of this website in my life. Therefore, when someone says I've studied the jurisprudence, that means they've opened the books of the schools of thought. I don't think you even know. Can you tell me the names of the four schools of thought of Islam?
You have Hanafi.
Without Googling, please. Can you move your hand from the keyboard, please?
I'm literally going off memory.
Tell me, what are the names? No, look at me and tell me, please. Because I need the jurisprudence. Please don't do this because I respect people who are honest. You can say I do not know.
What I'm looking at right now is
already Googled.
I can't.
Okay. Can you look at me, please?
Can I send you the link?
Can you look at me? No. Okay. Can you tell me what is the names of the jurisprudence? Oh, no, again, you're looking at the screen. Please, I can see you. Okay. Tell me.
Two that I can off the top of my head are Shafi'i and Hanafi. There's 2 that
there are 4.
I know.
Look at me, please.
I just said that there's 2 that I can name off the top of my head. Okay, that's what I just said.
GodLogic, please. Focus with me here. Look at me. No, look at me, please. Look at me. I'm making a point, please. Again, you're researching.
No, I'm not researching anything.
You can research it if you like. It's okay. But the thing is, look at me, please.
I'm sending you the link. Like I don't know everything.
We'll come to the link. I'm just trying to make a point. Can you look at me for a second?
Sure.
Okay. You claim, GodLogic, that you've studied Islamic jurisprudence.
On this subject.
No, on this subject. And you cannot even name the names of the 4 schools, which is a basic ABC. No, again, please. Now you're interrupting me when I'm speaking, right? Sorry? Can you not interrupt each other? No. I'll finish something and I'll let you speak. Okay, look.
Yes, right.
4 schools of thought. You don't even know the names of the 4 schools of thought, which is a basic babyhood child jurisprudence will know in Islamic studies. But you claim you know the positions of the 4 jurisprudence schools that you don't know their full names on this matter. Do you know, what did the people who founded these schools of thought are called? What is the name of the founder of... Please, can you look at me and not Google?
I'm just giving you the links, man.
No, don't give me the link. I don't need it now.
The link is in the private chat. I hope that you can put it up. Because now what you're doing...
you send the link, okay? We'll come to the link. You send the link. Can you look at me now?
So I'm not interested in deflecting off of it. I just want to get straight.
No, I'm not deflecting. I'm showing to the viewers whether you are. No, I'm showing to the viewers whether you're saying the truth or you're lying. With all due respect, because you claim that you studied. You claimed you studied the schools of thought and the jurisprudence on this issue. So can you look at me, please?
So no. Okay. So dude.
Do you agree on something? I want to ask you a question. Look.
How about this?
Look, now you're not letting me speak. Like, what's going on?
You asked me a question. Did you not?
No. You're not allowing me to even ask the question yet.
Okay, I'll stay muted. Don't even ask me. Just make your point, and I'll stay muted.
No. This is a discussion. Look, GodLogic, please. Yeah, GodLogic. I'm just clarifying a point you made. You said you studied the four schools of thought. Would you agree with me that the four schools of thought of Islam is not a website called Dora.net? The four schools of thought of Islam, before the existence of the internet and before websites were made, there are books written on the jurisprudence of the four schools of thought. Do you agree with this?
Can I answer you?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much. So on the link, it gives you the ruling from the four schools of thought.
Who's the founder of the website? Who's the founder of the website?
Ruling.
Who's the founder of the website? Who's the founder? How do you know he's giving you reliable? You don't know. How do you know he's giving you reliable information?
Look. This is my thing. If you want to criticize the person who built the website, then you have all to just do it. Go ahead.
No. I'm criticizing. I'll tell you why I'm criticizing you, not him, because you are the one who made the claim you've done research, and it is not said. It is not research when I Google something on a website and I don't even know who the founder is, and I find information. If I did that with Christianity or other religions, I'll be a mockery in the scenes of the challenging and discussions. The reason being is there are books that I open, like the book of the Bible itself, not Googling what the Bible says, but actually opening the Bible itself and reading it. Reading the actual books of the Christian history, what the church father says, quote unquote. This is how you learn. This is the sources of information. Now, you do not even know who are the founders of the four schools of thought. You do not know the names of the two of the schools of thought. You do not know the founders. You do not know the name of the books that they've written, because then I ask you now, and I can name all of them. The difference between someone who's done the research actually on this matter, I can tell you the names of the books and the names of the mu'tamad, meaning the opinion that is taken in the madhab. They probably you're not aware with that terminology anyways, but the opinion that is taken in the madhab and who wrote the book and everything like that. That doesn't mean I'm boosting my knowledge in this issue, but I'm saying I'm not going to say I've done research unless I've actually done research. And actually doing research is actually opening the sources. The primary source is material, not a website somewhere on Google that puts opinions based on what they think the schools of thought said. Now, to me, look, I told you, it's irrelevant for me. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, and then you can speak. I'm just finishing the statement. It's irrelevant for me what any website says, because I don't need to rely on websites. I've opened the materials themselves, the primary source materials. And what concerns a Muslim, every Muslim, is what the Quran and Sunnah says. So unless you bring me evidences from the Quran, from the Prophet's statements, like I gave you when I told you about the harm principle, I give you a hadith, a statement of the Prophet ﷺ, where that principle is derived from. This is how things works in the Quran and Sunnah. You bring the evidences from the Quran and Sunnah, and then you use them to demonstrate a position to be accurate or not accurate. So, of course, go ahead. Yes.
Just one question, so I could just get my point. It's simple.
Yes.
Was I correct when I named two of the four schools of thought? Was I correct?
What is the names you said? You said Maliki?
What did you say? I said Hanafi and Shafi'i. I didn't mention Maliki yet.
Yes, Hanafi and Shafi'i is correct. Yes.
Yep. So Maliki is a third, and then there's a fourth that's slipping my mind. But
I just told you about Maliki, but yeah, the other one, okay.
Wait. You just reminded me of that one, and then the other one. Thank you so much. Yes. So here's the thing. What you try, and I'm just going to say my point, because how you tried to frame this is as if, see, you don't even know the four schools of thought. You don't even know the four schools of thought. You don't know the four schools of jurisprudence. You haven't done the research.
I didn't say that,
because you can't name all four. That's what you pictured. Yet ignoring that I gave you two correct names. I gave you two correct names while I admittedly said, while the other two are slipping my mind, I don't have to memorize everything. That doesn't mean I didn't do the research. I don't know this. So I think that is it's a little slippery move, but it doesn't work here with me. Like, that's
Can I answer that now?
No, please, because I sat patiently and waited.
No. But you made a claim about me now, not about points.
You made multiple claims about me that I didn't get to respond to until you finished.
That's not true. I did ask you. I said, do you know X, Y, and Z? I didn't make a claim. No. Wait. I didn't make. Okay, again, please look. You said. No. I'm just gonna refute what you just said. You claim that I said you do not know the names of the schools.
Allow me to jump in and correct you when you said something about me that I disagree with. I had to wait until you got it all out. So I'm asking for this with respect here, that you let me get it all out and then respond. Let me finish at least first, like I let you finish. You demanded that I let you finish, and I did.
Did you finish what you said about me? No. The topic about me. Did you finish that? I'm not. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I was correct giving you a couple of the names of the schools of thought, missing the other two that I said is not hitting my mind right now. That doesn't mean that I didn't understand, or didn't look at what they said or taught. If you are in doubt about anything, about what I'm saying, about what the consensus is when it comes to the four schools of jurisprudence, from Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbalis, any of them, Go, like you said, go to the original sources into the book. Dora.net gives you the encyclopedia of the rulings from the four schools of thought and gives you what they say. So thank God for the internet that we have access to these, and it's legit. If you want to go check it out, be my guest and scrutinize it. Go check out what Hanbali says, what it says in Maliki, Shafi. Go ahead, check it out. I'm not telling you not to, but don't say that. Oh, well, you're using an online website, not Google, by the way. It's Dora.net. So don't try to frame it like I'm Googling and that's not what this is. This is Dora.net. Anybody can check it out. I gave you the link in the private chat. Please share it or with yourself, take it, look at it. I'm not being, sneaky about anything here. And according to the four schools of thought, they're very specific when it comes to consummation with a minor, that it's allowed as long as she can take it, as long as she is able to handle it. They have said nothing about her mental stability or whatever like that. That's not even a factor here when it comes to the ruling. So I'm finished now.
Okay. Look, this is why I don't have discussions with all respect with individuals like you, because the discussions end up being you said, I said, you said, I said, and instead of us talking about the actual what's going on, and it ends up being, well, he's so proud, yeah. You think that, you know what, you said this is and that, I said this is and that, and then we argue with each other about nonsensical things, which is a waste of my time and people's viewers' time. That's why I don't have discussions with people like you. And that's why in the beginning of the discussions, I said that we will have 2 questions, and then I did answer your questions, and then you kept in a circle, because that's what you guys do. So the thing is very simple. Look, you have misrepresented what I said clearly, because that's the only defense you have. I did not say that because you do not know the 4 names of the school of thought, therefore something. This is not the claim I was making. The claim I was making was you don't even know the names of them, and you pretend you've done your research. There's a difference now. What I said is you said I've done the research, I've looked at the schools of thought. You don't even know the names. How did you do the research and look at the school of thought so you don't even know the names of the school of thoughts? This is the point I'm making. You do not know the names of the founders of the schools of thought. You do not know the books that they've written. You do not know what's mu'tamad in their madhab. And then you went, when I say Google, this is where you find the website. You found Dora.net in Google, and then you ended up, after finding Dora.net in Google, saying what you found there, which you believe is the scenario in the case. And you lied, with all due respect, because you said the consensus, and there's no consensus. Even in that website, if I open it now, you're not going to find consensus with what you said. Now, there are scholars who differ in the discussion here regarding the details of the attributes, right? Regarding the details of the consummation and what takes place and all of that. You've not brought that. You do not even know probably what they said about these things. You do not know what Shafi'i says about this issue specifically, as I said to you. And look, as I said, now the argument becomes now, and this is not what I'm here to do. The argument with me and you is not about what this website or that website says. My argument is simple. My argument is what the Quran and Sunnah says. You can open the Quran, you can open the Hadith, and bring your arguments there, and I'm going to respond to you. You want to say this scholar said, I do not worship a scholar. Neither does any one of the followers here worship a scholar. When you say this scholar did not mention, this specific scholar did not mention the idea about harm, I can open in any book of fiqh and you will find the idea of harm that I was talking to you about being put as a main principle in jurisprudence, the idea that you cannot cause harm. So it is already a well-known factor. They do not need to mention something which is obvious and is well-known. So the idea of harm there includes the physical and psychological. It's a very well-known aspect and a principle in fiqh. You cannot derive rulings from fiqh or do anything without that principle being present anyways. You've not studied jurisprudence in Islam, because that's why you don't know this point. Therefore, they do not necessarily need to mention it every time they speak, because this is a given. It is a very well-known thing as a principle. They already mention it as one of the principles of jurisprudence. Now, look, as I said I'll let you say your thing, but instead of saying your thing, you went to you said, I said, you said. Look, you want to move on to your next question, so we can end up with this, instead of going in circles and you trying to avoid me asking you questions, which is, I'm assuming, what you're doing right now. That's why you keep repeating you didn't answer my question. So I do not get to ask you questions. So look, I'm honestly not even interested in asking you questions, because I know you're not, from my point of view, I don't see like sincerity come from your side. But the thing is, look, go ahead. What is your next question? I'll let you ask your next question and then we can end. As I said, it's already 11 o'clock and we've been almost like 30 minutes now talking. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So you said that I lied.
I said the next question, please. If you're not willing to do that, there's no point of us continuing.
No, I'm willing to go. I just wanted to just mention that. You said that
because you will keep saying I said, and then I will keep saying you said, and then we will do that ad infinitum.
Notice how I'm the only one who brought a source here, while you're just bringing claims and you haven't brought anything saying what you're saying.
I brought the hadith of the Prophet '. What are you talking about?
No, but so based on the
that's not
the hadith, No, the hadith says nothing about mental stability. It says
No.
nothing about that. It says
Does
do
the
not
hadith
cause.
does the
So
hadith say does the hadith say does the hadith
that
say
you
you're not allowed? No. You're lying now again. Does the hadith say
see,
you're not allowed to cause harm?
you're supposed to be the cool one,
Does the
man.
hadith say, because you claim that I didn't bring sources, does the hadith say you're not allowed to cause harm?
Yes, it says you're not allowed to cause harm. Now the
Okay.
scholars
If
say
you
you're not allowed to
if you
cause
marry
harm
look again, I'm not again,
physically.
if you marry a young girl that there will be psychological harm, does the hadith include that situation?
The hadith doesn't include any type of psychological harm.
Okay.
Has to do.
Well, it was not nice talking to you, but I'll let you go. Okay. This is the thing. You gotta have a discussion with someone who's like essentially lying, you know? Like, see, the hadith has nothing to do with it, even though there is harm.
Regarding the hadith, the word harm is a general term that encompasses all types of harm, physical, psychological, or otherwise. Ironically, DogLogic insists it refers only to physical harm, ignoring the broader meaning, clearly interpreting it in a way that supports his stance. Tell me what you think in the comments below.